Good morning. It is 6:45 Pacific time on Thursday, April 4th. Welcome to my trading video. What you're looking at here is the Jigsaw day trading platform. Real quick from left to right, these are all price ladders. What you have on the left is the UB, the Ultra Bond. This one here. The ZB is the next one, moving left from right. It's the ZB is the 30-year. ZF is the 5-year. The ZN is the 10-year. And then all the way here on the right is the E-mini S&P, which is symbol ES. If you want to know more about this platform and how to trade it, I suggest you just Google Jigsaw Day Trader or look at their YouTube videos. They have a ton of them. There's also a gentleman by the name of John Grady with No BS Day Trading. He has a few videos on YouTube as well on the basic principles of trading, order flow, and using this platform. So what happened overnight? Basically sort of went sideways pretty much. I mean, you can see the range is not that great. Just sort of went sideways down here, got bid up, sort of spiked up here, and then just before the pit opened, everything just kind of sold back down to the overnight low. That's kind of where we're looking right now. It just bounced off this area probably about 10 or 15 minutes ago, bit up a tiny bit. Looking for it to fall back in to possibly take a long. That's what I'm looking at now, and I just wanted to throw that out there because if it happens really quickly, then you'll know why that I was jumping in on that. Still dealing with some allergies and stuff, so you'll have to excuse me if I'm coughing or just being an asshole. Let's see, let's look at the calendar real quick. See, Thursday we had some jobless claims came out. Let's check and see what that said. Yeah, pretty much in line, maybe a little bit lower. If it's a miss, it's a small miss. Not a big deal. Let's see, as far as auctions, let's see, a 4-week and an 8-week. We have some 10-year note announcements, 30-year bond announcements, pretty much and a 3-year note announcement. I don't know what those announcements are all about. But we'll see if they impact the market. We'll keep an eye out at, let's see, it's going to be 8:30 our time. 8 o'clock and 8:30. All the announcements are at 8 o'clock our time. So we'll keep an eye out for any sort of impact. As far as upcoming announcements, I mean, we got Fed balance sheet at 1:30. Again, not really a mover. And that's about it. Really nothing for tomorrow either, unless you count non-farm payroll. So that should be interesting. So we might be up early tomorrow for that. So again, area of interest down here at the open or the overnight low. Look to get in. We saw pretty swift rejection by buyers at this level previously. As far as I haven't been trading the last 3 days. Monday was a travel day for me. Tuesday, I got in super late Monday, so getting up early on Tuesday was not, wasn't looking forward to that. It happened anyway. I came out and I looked at what was happening, the context, and I mean, the range was super small. Price action was almost dead. So I just decided to do other things on that day, i.e. go back to bed. Yesterday I actually came out, fired up the recorder, went through everything, and did not take any trades. There was a double bottom. I don't know what level that was at, but I tweeted about it, but it was, let's see, it had to have been right around 130, which is right about here. That happened just before I got, or just as I was getting fired up. Just as I was getting to the battle station, that's when that happened, and I missed it. So that really was the only trade that I saw yesterday. Yeah. So, I mean, everything else was just in the profile, too far in the profile for me to really pay attention to. So that's kind of... So I had a bunch of wasted video, didn't post it, obviously, because there's no trading, and I feel no obligation to trade just to post videos. So I recorded about 2.5 hours, 3 hours of market time, and then I just scrapped it because there's nothing there. So yeah, that's what happened yesterday. Kind of a boring day. As far as today, again, looking at this overnight low, I'm going to stop talking here and start focusing on what's going on, just so that I don't miss another trade. But again, this is it's about 10 minutes to 7 Pacific time on April 4. And that's what we're looking at for right now. So I'm shutting the mic off, and we'll just pay attention. If something comes up, I'll kind of go through what I'm looking at, and we'll go from there. So real quick, one of the beautiful things about this platform and watching price action, as you could see, as sellers bid this up, there was some really good suppression at 16, at 15.5 and 16. As you could see it by these numbers here, that, this ballooned up to 12,000. This was at 11, I believe, at the time, and these numbers were still lower. I think, at 15.5 we saw 8,000 here, and then this was probably around 6,000 or so. And then sellers stepped in and then started popping these numbers up, and they pushed it back down. But they really had no choice, because sellers were just absorbing all the buying at this level. So basically, all the buyers bailed out, and then sellers kind of jumped back in. And it's only 2 ticks, but it's just very indicative of what you're looking for. It's nothing actionable on my part, but it's something that you'd want to look for in terms of, sellers absorbing all the buying and trying to get a reversal and push this thing back down. It's very cool. Once you key in on stuff like that, then you get a really good insight on what's going on inside the market. Speaking of markets, this is just dead right now. This is where it turns into just a grind. Still just have to be patient, pick your spots, don't force anything. So let's just review real quick. It's 7:25 a.m. Pacific time. Very slow price action. Here in the 10-year, we're pushing up to 17.5, 18, which was basically 18 was the floor during the overnight session. Then the pit opened and it kind of blew down here, and it's been trading down here ever since. So it's just a natural resistance point that buyers should have some difficulty getting through. Looking over here at the 30-year, in this sort of environment, just how things are so slow, I don't hesitate to just jump over to the 30-year and trade that, because it typically moves a little bit more in these types of environments, and it also it will hold a little bit better to a tick or two. Typically, you know, what the 10-year or the ZN typically does. So, long story short, as the E-minis approaching the lows, this is kind of one of my favorite sort of setups, is that it's approaching the lows. You're expecting buyers to step in at some point. And so I started looking for shorts over here in these products. And especially when things start to line up, like the ZN is approaching a resistance point, and the E-mini is coming down, the ES is coming down to a place where you'd expect it to get bought back up, which would put pressure on sellers over here and put pressure on sellers to step in and start selling this thing down. So we'll see what happens. Really wish the ZB was up a little bit higher, or closer to the overnight high, so that would be an obvious sell spot. Just push this down. Not a huge fan of intraday or overnight resistance, but the fact that this was rejected pretty cleanly out of this area, out of this level down into a new level during the pit session, gives me a little bit of assurance. So we'll see what happens. Excuse me. So we are wrong at 19. Prefer optimal entry would have been at 18. And I screwed up because I forgot to reduce my lot size. Just sort of hoping this resistance holds up, but this could very well just trade into a big giant distribution right here. So it kind of sucks. This is definitely a half lot trade. So far 18's holding. Famous last words. All right, 3,000 up. That was good. That's pulling off. Let's go, boys. You can do it. Got to start attacking down. So 8,000 up. That's good for the good guys. Sellers absorbing that buying there. Probably could have waited for that for our entry. Come on, start attacking down. Let's go. This is the question. Do you scratch it? Here we go. So that's something. That's a clue. They hit the bid and they immediately start hitting down. And look how quickly that pulled off the bid there. You have 3,600 off already. Man. I might just scratch this and just look to get in at a higher level if it's still conducive. I don't know. Come on. $2,400. Pull off. Pull off. Man. Of course. Of course. So the lesson is to wait. I mean, 18 is what the level we identified. We got in at 15.5, or 17.5, excuse me. That basically cost us a scratch, because we wouldn't have scratched, obviously, if it come back up to 18. Or we wouldn't have the opportunity. It hasn't gone up back up to 18 yet, but son of a bitch. So you just got to be happy with the outcome, I think, in the beginning. I mean, look at that. That's already pulling off. Only 13 hit in. That sucks. So that trade was only good for about 3 ticks, which is kind of what I'd expect in this sort of environment. But it was still good. I could have hung in it. At least got 1 tick out of it. Paid commissions. Now we're watching as we're back up to the same level. We basically want to see the same thing. We want to see buyers try to push it higher and sellers hold them down. The difference here is that where the E-mini is, it's not pushing lows with an expectation that's going to go back. It's basically just kind of middling in the range here. I mean, it is at VWAP where it could get bought up some more. Put pressure back on here on the ZN and the ZB and all the rest of these products, which are back up to this level. The 5 years back up to 16. 30-year and the Ultra Bond are a couple ticks off of where their levels were. So I cut my lot size in half, which is probably what should have happened last time. Just a little bit more tricky read. The setup isn't ideal, isn't 100% there. Go ahead and pull the trigger, see if we can get filled. Based on what happened last time with only a couple ticks, I don't know if I want to pay up on this. Although I think the sellers would be liable to, or probably more capable of pushing this down through back to this, back down to 15. Ultra Bond's trading down. We need some pushback here. Well, where are my sellers at? So far only 3 up. Just can't get this. The E-mini can't get through 28.82. It's looking pretty soft. 30-year still at the level. Ultra bond's still there. 5-year still offer. Oi. No sellers. Wow, look at that. Need a bailout. Not stopped out yet, but we're getting close. And very little pushback. It's kind of hanging an order out there like that sometimes can be a little risky just because, I mean, they were 3,000 up. They lifted the offer 3,000 and went 3,000 up on the bid. It's pretty serious. That means business. So we're probably going to get stopped out here. Ultra bonds at the highs, 30 years still holding. Stopped out. Yep, that was kind of a no-brainer there. I might, I mean, it's 8:15 Pacific time. And I might just shut this down for the day. So, just to recap, kind of a slow day. I guess, let's see. Probably could have forced something here at the overnight low. Didn't quite get down to it. There was some resistance. So we identified an intraday level of resistance overnight level of resistance. It traded down initially. That was basically the pit high at the time. So it's not a high probability trade, but it's the concept was there. Initially it worked for a couple ticks, and then on the second try I basically got creamed. So you win some, you lose some. That's just how it is. We're going to be down today. unfortunately, yeah, that's just how it goes. So, shutting off the video, and I'll probably be around mañana.